Edge of Eternity is upon us, and that means a whole new set for us to open. And as always, big thanks to our friends at Superscripts Comics and Games for letting us open this for their store stock. Without further ado, we're just going to crack right into this. It's very refreshing to get a solid Magic the Gathering set. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top. There isn't a super big chase card. It's just some solid Magic cards to help fill the voids that are going to be created with the new rotation coming into Standard. So I'm excited. I love space theme. I did want to be an astrophysicist when I first went to college, and I quickly got stumped. So this is pretty exciting for me. Nothing crazy. It looks like we have commons in the front for this set. I'm not going to spend too much time on those, but we do have our first station, which is the new card type to Magic the Gathering. Get to put counters on it and make it become a creature, but it does have some cool ETB effects in some situations. Like this one deals 3 damage to any target when it enters, so that's pretty nice. We might have flicker targets potentially. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about stations yet. I want to play with them a little bit more. Ooh, Terra Symbiose. This is going to be a fun card. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a target creature you control, you may draw that many cards. Only do this once each turn. So you could potentially set yourself up to skip that trigger and then add more down the road. I think it's a situational base that you could pick when to trigger that. Don't quote me on that, but you could set yourself up to grab quite a few cards off of that if you play your cards right, as you might say. That was a terrible pun. I'm sorry. Gravekill, Mechan Shieldmate, Focus Fire, Intrepid Tenderfort, Rig for War, Virus Beetle, Thawbringer, Torpedo. That's cool. I like that art a lot, actually. Destroy, sacrifice an artifact, destroy target non-land permanent. This ability costs 3 less to activate if you attack with a spacecraft this turn. It's a fun little card. Timeline Caller, Dual Sun Adept, and then we have another spacecraft. Ooh, and Banishing Light, which is going to be one of those cards that's kind of filling a void, I do believe, in the Standard format. This one's kind of cool. You just add 2 counters and you start making 2/2 flying artifact creatures. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target creature or target artifact you control becomes a artifact creature with base power and toughness 2/2. So that's going to be nice to animate some things, especially for 1 mana. It seems like a pretty effective card, and only at the sacrifice of tapping a card for 2 toughness. I do think that is the downside to space crafts, is sacrificing or potentially leaving yourself open in situations to put those counters on it. Things could be reactionary. On top of that, you could actually use some cards that care about being tapped, especially from Duskmourn. Pop a few of those up maybe here, to really get full effect of tapping those stations, but triggering second main phase situations, right? So full effect of those. There's going to be some sort of combo shenanigans, I'm sure of it, from these spacecraft. There's our first multicolored creature. That's another thing. This is a very... Ooh, there we go. Grove of the Burn Willows. Is this... Oh, I didn't notice this. This is kind of cool. Each opponent gains 1 life. Oh. So it's the inverse of Painlands. I did not know these were in the set. That's actually cool. I like the art a lot, but it's nice to have. Nice to have. Nova Hellkite, Swarmcaller. I'm interested to see how the gaining life aspect of this really plays into any format. Will there be a deck desperate enough for the color fixing to run land that gives life to opponents? That's a question. That's a question. Light Jammer, Starfire Pilot, Sammy's Curiosity, Drill Scraper, Radiant Strike. Oh, another spacecraft. Red Tiger, Mechan Direcraft. Enters each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature for 5 mana. That's a little expensive, I think. Good thing is only in an uncommon. Might All Faith. This guy is going to be a combo piece in and of itself. You can warp this in, or I'm sorry, you could play something. So let's say you want to play. Oh, look at that breeding pool, just casually in the background. By the way, foil too. We'll get to that. All Faith Stalker. You can warp something in or play something for a reduced cost that forces you to exile it at the beginning of your upkeep or something like that at the beginning of your end step. But you can warp this on top of it, exile it. And when this leaves, that creature comes back for free. So if you warp something in for 3, has a casting cost of 6, this gets it onto the battlefield for a total of 5 mana instead of 6. So pretty cool. And you get to double those ETB effects if it has an ETB trigger on it. So that's definitely a cool card. It's also in the uncommon slot. While we're talking about that, I'm going to go ahead and sleeve this because I don't want to get roasted in the comments for not doing so. I don't know how I feel about these full art borders just yet. I'm not going to lie. They look cool, but I've seen a lot of people say online they look like proxies. And I kind of agree with that to some degree. Kind of agreed with that to some degree. You know what? I should probably be pulling out the good cards, right? Instead of just tossing them into color piles. That would be smart of me. So we want Terra, Starwinder. Nothing else really of note, I don't think, yet. So we're going to keep on trucking. They just seem like regular old cards. Meccan, Deck, Drix, Mox, Comet Crawler, Chrome Companion. We love the doggos. That goes there. Crusher, another exile. That's good. Good situation where we're pulling multiples of those. Seam Rip seems like it's also going to be pretty good. For 1 mana, when this enters, you get to exile a non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. That's a pretty good cost. It's a pretty good cost. And it hits non-land, so yeah, solid card. Rust Harvester is going to be our rare for the pack. Exile an artifact from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature, then it deals damage equal to its power to any target. That's pretty good. You know, constant removal on the card. Comet Crawler, boosters, Relations, Swarm Color, Gear, Mouth of the Storm, Cadet. Whenever this enters, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Whenever more creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. 5 mana, legendary. I mean, that might be a fun little, what is it called? Pauper Commander, I think. Possibly. I don't know. Don't quote me. I think that's the format in which I'm referring to. Pauper Commander. I am terrible. Whoa. We're mixing these colors up. Fix that. All right, Reclaimer. When this creature enters, return target non-land or non-creature non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. So you could warp it in, grab a 3, and then pay 5 to grab something else in the future. That actually seems like a fairly solid card. And it goes to the battlefield too without a finality counter. So you could be grabbing quite a few big cards with that. That might be interesting. Might have to test around with that Reclaimer. That's an interesting little card. All right. Transmissions. Operative. Savior. Why did I put that in the wrong pile again? Look at me. Nutrient block. I'm so used to doing, whatchamacallit. I can't even think of the name. Sealed. That it's just pile forming everything. All right. Mago. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, target creature has base power toughness 3/3 until end of turn. If you control 6 or more lands, that creature has a base power 6/6. That could be a pretty fun card, especially with how many ways you can double trigger landfalls right now. I'm sure you could definitely force your way into getting that 6/6 pretty quick. And then we have our first mythic of the box. It is going to be the Planet Land. It enters tapped. It has station. All right, after I was so rudely interrupted by the camera overheating, Windswept Bastion. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control, except it's a legendary, blah, 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 blah. This seems like a very abusable card, is what this boils down to. That's how I feel about it. Especially that making copy tokens of artifacts. The limitation of making a legendary is probably a good move on their part. A very good move. Otherwise, it would get wild with that card so quickly. Boosters. Burst, Bolt, Hull, Modulation, Pinnacle, Kill Ship. This seems like it's going to be a fairly common card in Sealed, like top end, to just deal 10 damage up to one target creature when it enters, and then potentially push yourself further by getting this flying 7/7 onto the battlefield. Because 10 damage removes pretty much everything on the battlefield. So this might be tossed in as like a top end card, potentially. We shall see. Actuator, Elite, and then we have our Rakdos dual color card. Tractor Beam, this also is going to be a little bit of a combo piece. There's a blue card that lets you untap creatures or targets or something like that whenever it becomes tapped. So you could grab something with this enchantment and then untap it with that artifact creature. So keep an eye out for that. Osteo Harmonist as our rare for the pack. Oh, double rare. Look at that, actually. Osteo Harmonist, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. That seems fun. There's a lot of opportunity with that card, I think. When this creature enters, create a lander token. You may sacrifice an artifact. This creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. So you just make a massive amount of landers or artifacts and you just fling them at your opponents. That could be fun. That could be pretty fun. Gotta fix that. I keep putting the rares in the color piles. Shame on me. Shame on me. All right, Skywarden, Heavy, Divert Disaster, Banishing Light, Colossal, Thawbringer, Torpedo again. We're torpedoing everywhere. Ooh, there's something back there. That guy goes there. This is also kind of a cool card. Cathedral of War. This land enters tapped, exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn and it taps for colorless. Just giving creatures exalted via land actually seems kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea if that's gonna do anything, but you know what? Great to have. Sunstar Chaplain. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. See, this is the situation where you want to tap your creatures to get benefits from your stationing. So if you find the middle ground where you're not so open with tapping for stationing, you could take advantage of them. And then Sinister Cryologist. More packs. Let's keep it going. One thing I am a little sad about with this set is it seems like collector boosters got extremely short printed. Especially here. The store that I'm currently at, Superscripts, only got a case and a half. Crazy. They need to print some more, I do believe. Sentinel, Depressurize, that's in the wrong pile. Actuator, Elite, Propulsion, Download, Pain for All. Oh, that's a full art land. I got excited. Pain for All. Enchant creature you control when this aura enters. Enchanted creature deals damage equal to its power to any other target. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each opponent. Oh, so a nice little reflection. You get to fling some damage, and then if you takes damage, it just sends it right back to your opponent. Seems kind of fun. It's only 3 mana. I feel like that's castable. Fairly castable. Breacher. Relations. Oh, I didn't know they were in this card game. Red Tiger, Mechanized Vanguard, Modifier. Scrap. Another breeding pool. I don't know what it is, but whenever I open Shocklands, it's always breeding pools. I can say for certain I have opened more breeding pools than I have of any Shockland. Probably easily twice the number. Maybe even 3 times. I'm cursed with them. I'm cursed with them. Emissary Escort is going to be our rare. This guy gets +X+0, where X is the greatest mana value among other artifacts you control. Just a nice little buff. I'm not saving that breeding pool. It's just a regular old one. I'm sure after this set, I'm going to guess that they're going to be down to $5. That's my guess for Shocklands. Beckoneer. Relic. This also seems like a fun card. You know, draw whenever it leaves or enters. Bounce it. Squire, Pollinator, Bombard, Drill Too Deep, Sunstar, Slightsmith, Hymn of the Fallener. Faller? Hymn of the Faller. That seems weird to say. Specimen Freighter. Terminal Velocity. You may put an artifact or creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That permanent gains haste. When this permanent leaves the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its mana value to each creature, so potentially a board wipe. And at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice that permanent. Okay. 6 mana board wipe that you can cheat something out onto the battlefield. Swing with it, and then just wipe the board after. Seems fair. Seems fun. Good that it's sorcery speed. Orbital Plunge, Embrace the Oblivion, Gale, Night Luminary, Singer, Swarm, Gear, Warden, Caller, Depths, Debris Crusher, and then Hardlight Containment. Enchant artifact you control. When this aura enters, exile target creature an opponent controls until this aura leaves the battlefield. So you can enchant an artifact that you control, it gains a ward, and you get to exile a creature for 1 mana. Absolutely playable is my conclusion about that card. Absolutely playable. As long as you have a decent amount of artifacts in your arsenal. If you don't, then it's not playable, obviously. Disaster. Ooh, here we go. I don't know what you are. Magus of the Moon. Apparently it's 50 cents according to this right here. It says 50 cents on the card. It's a creature, human, wizard. Non-basic lands are mountains. Fun. I'm going to sleeve that because, frankly, why not? It's a special guest card. It's the first one that we've seen. It's pretty cool. I like this poster style. I was a fan of them when they made them for Secret Lair, and I'm pretty sure I picked this one up. So that is a pickup right there. It's weird that it's in the middle of the pack, too. Dauntless Scrapbots. And then we have our Engineer. So this can be our Boros. Or one of our Boros is multicolored cards here. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, create a tapped 2/2 colorless robot artifact. It does... It seems unfortunate that that tapped 2/2 comes in tapped. I wish it wasn't tapped. I think that would be fairly solid if it was not tapped. But I'm sure my opinion is wrong. Obviously. And then Cosmic Goyf. We got another Goyf. It's great. We love Goyfs. Engineering. We're Goyfing. I have heard some complaints to the fact that this cares about exile instead of graveyard. But you know what? It's still a 2 mana card. That's its limitation. It's a 2 mana Goyf to do some stuff with. Jammer, Pilot, Curiosity, Scalper, another Pinnacle, Sentinel, Geologist, Scout Savior, and then we have our Dimir card. Enters, draw 2, discard 2, unless you discard an artifact. During your turn, this guy is Death Touch. Okay card. Annul, that's back in standard. Hooray. Not like we totally need another counterspell in the format or anything. Just a side note, I've played against a mono blue pure counterspell standard deck. It was not fun at all. I don't recommend it to my worst enemy. When the spacecraft enters, it deals damage equal to the number of artifacts you control to target creature and opponent controls. 3 mana. You play heavy artifacts, there you can do it. Seems like a fairly solid card. And then we have our Greenhouse, another spacecraft station card. Enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That's actually pretty solid. 5 mana, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature. Okay. You could convince me that that's a solid card. Technician, Zealot, Stinger, Dragon, Zealous Display, Scourge the Eternity. We have something in the back there. Starfield Shepherd. You got a tutor for a plains or a 1 mana value creature card for Warp 2, and then 5 mana. I also think this is a fairly solid card. Memorial Team Leader. Domain Bracelet, or the Dominion Bracelet. I think this card is going to be fun to play with Agatha of the Vile Cauldron, because it would just double reduce the effect and take care of someone's turn really quickly, you know? Rust Harvester. Okay. Alt art. That's psychedelic. I gotta be honest, I was not expecting this art style in this set whatsoever. Rust Harvester. Menace. Exile an artifact. Oh, we already have this. It's already in this pile. It's 1 mana? I didn't realize it was 1 mana. Okay, it's 1 mana. My opinion of it is okay. Especially 1 mana Menace. Banishing Light, Curiosity, Scrapper, Transmission, another Relic, cool, Depressurize, Drill Too Deep, and this is our 3rd one of these. Hyperblade, Seam Rip, Actuator, and then Consult the Star Charts. Kicker, look at the top X cards of your library where X is the number of lands you control. Put 1 of those into your hand. If the spell is kicked, put 2 of those cards into your hand instead. Oh, is this supposed to contend with, what's it called? What is the card from Aether Drift? What's a really good card from Aether Drift that draws you look at the top 5 or something like that? Stock Up. Consult the Stars. Contending with Stock Up. Is that what that's supposed to be? I think so. That's still crazy, but it's at instant speed. Wow. Great. Blue just needs more card advantage, right? Decode Transmissions. Operative. That's the wrong stack. Savior. Block. Sorry, let's put this in the right pile. Sweeper. Wayfarer. Intimidator. Ace. Zealot. Unravel. Ooh, the Dawn Star. That seemed like a pretty good chase card. Whenever you attack, Dawn Star deals 100 damage up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. And it's also a 20/20 flyer with 20 plus station on it. 10 plus for that to swing. Wait, whenever you attack. Oh, okay, so this can't attack it. That's good. So it has to be something else that attacks. Still, just orbital striking something for 100 damage. Seems good. Seems pretty good. Seems fairly good. Pressure, Rager, we have something in the back. I already see it. Whale, Security, Worm, Pinnacle, Lost in Space, Scan Ship, Impact, Silencer. Okay, Starfield Vocalist. Permanent, oh, it's another permanent doubling thing. We just need so many of those, right? In this set. Sunken Citadel. Foil. That's actually really cool. Look at that. Enters tapped. As it enters, choose 1 color. Add 1 mana of the chosen color. Add 2 mana of the chosen color. Spend this mana only to activate abilities of land sources. Boom. Super shiny. I will put this in the super shiny land pile. If this is expensive, I have no idea, but it's foil and shiny. So it goes in one of these plastic liner thingies. All right. I think we're fairly close to the end. There's only 3 more packs over there, and then we got 3, 6, 7. So we got 10 more packs to go. That's the back of the pack. Wrong direction. Security, Worm, Lava, Oblivion, Technician, Zealot, Nutrient Block, blah, blah, Greenhouse, Evangel. Yeah, then we have an Earthros. It's going to be the other planet's land in the non-fancy version. We didn't get the fancy version of the other one anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. Titanic God Core. Pay 1 mana and tap it for each, or add blue mana for each artifact you control. We're just making a bunch of mana. Good card. Mox, and then we have another Forest. full art. I'm gonna have to buy like a full set of these full arts. I'm telling you, they're sweet looking. My original favorite was the ones from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, but this is a solid contender. I gotta be honest. Mental Modulation, Breacher, Burst, Mox, Intervention, Scan Shift Trajectory, Addant, Godmaw, Hardline Containment, Solid Card Still, Cryo Shatter. Go over here. Orbital Plunge, Oblivion, Gale, Luminary, Stinger, Deep, Depressurize, Ardent. Let's get through the not so fun card. Biomechan Engineer. We haven't seen this one yet. Pretty much create a lander token, pay 8, draw 2 cards, create a 2/2, colorless robot, artifact, creature token. Cool. Requiem Monolith. Until end of turn, target creature gains. Whenever this creature is dealt damage, you draw that many cards, lose that much life. That creature's controller may have this artifact deal 1 damage to it. Okay. That seems fun. Just nice little shock and draw. Like if you need some card advantage, you can hit yourself or something like that. Stinger, Turbo, Moon, Cryo Shatter, Enhancer, Drone, Display, all engineering, vote out. And then we have Extinguisher Battleship. When this spacecraft enters, destroy target non-creature permanent, then this spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature. So you destroy something and destroy or deal 4 damage to each creature. A nice little board wipe for 8 mana. Crazy. Monolith, go over there. I do have to say that the spaceships do seem like they have some pretty good ETB effects. I will admit, the high-end ones do have some pretty good ETB effects. Are they a little overcosted? Potentially. But that's yet to be determined, I think. Sweeper, Mechaneer, Technique, System Overdrive, Titan, and then Lightstall Inquisitor. Vigilance. When this creature enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand and may play that card for as long as it's remained exiled. Each spell cast this way costs 1 more. Each land played enters tapped. 1 mana, 2/1 Vigilance. It's pretty good. Little card control in your hand for it. Again, wrong spots. Boom, bop. Beat a boom, bop. Nothing crazy here. Nothing speaking to me. We got a Stomping Ground. Let's go. And we got a double good card pack. Stomping Ground, full art. We'll take it. Go over there in that pile. Weft Walking. When this enchantment enters, if you cast it, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards. The first spell each player casts during their turns may be cast without paying its mana cost. Okay, just a nice little shuffle up and replace your hand and some free spells. A little contention with Omniscience. However, I don't know when you want to give your opponent that kind of advantage. Maybe I'm not thinking some sort of combo. Let me know in the comment section if there's something to do with this Weft Walking card. Pinnacle, System Override, Void Forge, Nesting Grounds. Cool, we got a Nesting Grounds, fancy version 2. 0 Point Ballad. Destroy all creatures with toughness X or less where you lose X life. If X is 6 or more, return a creature card put into a graveyard this way under your control. Destroy everything, lose some life, put a card onto the battlefield under your control. Does a very mono-black thing. Graveyard, Disaster, Banishing Lights, Pangolin. I love the fact that Pangolins are in this set. I hope future me or past me puts a picture of a pangolin onto the screen when I first saw it. Pinnacle Star Cage. When this artifact enters, exile all artifacts and creatures mana value 2 or less until this artifact leaves the battlefield. Put each card exiled this way into the owner's graveyard and then create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature for each card put into a graveyard this way. So you grab everything, and then for 8 mana, you get to make some dudes. Making dudes. Alright, last 3 packs. Let's hope for some good magic. So I'll be honest. I feel like we could hit 1 or 2 more mythics and be good. Debbie the Dragon, Grave, Cryo, Shatter, Enhancer, Shattering Wings. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know this back in Standard. Or has it been? Maybe I'm crazy. Ignore me. Monolith Sentry, Maneuvers, Eject, Scoutlander, Cosmogord Zenith. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, choose one. Create a 2/1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. 3 mana, 2/4. I think that's a very solid costed card. 2 mana or 2 spells per turn. You can get this out, cast something else, or 2 cheap spells. I think it's pretty good. Pretty good. Is it like upper echelons level? I am unsure. I am unsure. I am not the person to ask for that opinion. But can I tell you it's a decent card? Yes. Cryogenic, Light Blade, Pollinator, Bombard, Temporal, Doctrone, Operator. And then we have a Gruul guy, Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, deals 1 damage to each opponent. If the second time, you get a draw card. Cool. Very Gruul thing. Ooh, and we did it. In the second to last pack, we hit the Infinite Guideline Station. When this guy enters, create a tapped 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature for each multicolored permanent you control. Whenever this guy attacks, draw a card for each multicolored permanent you control. 7/15 flyer. Wheelberg. I wonder how many commander decks we will see of that card. I wonder how many we will see. So you can just make an entire deck of multicolored cards and just be crazy. It would be crazy. Shatter. This is the last pack, so we're hoping for some last pack magic on top of what we just got. Oh, we got another one of the Funlands, it looks like. Stirring Wildwood. You can add Selesnya or pay Selesnya 1 until end of turn. This land becomes a 3/4 green and white elemental creature token with reach. Wow, that looks like it's already got some damage on it, right? Look at that. Look at that printing smear. Just smeared with the ink. Unfortunate. Rupture, singularity rupture. Destroy all creatures, then any number of target creatures, or I can do it. Destroy all creatures, then any number of target players, each mill half their library rounded down. That's not going to be a problem at all. I don't believe so. You can't convince me that it's not a problem. And that's it. That's everything. We hit some fairly solid cards. Like, I think it's a very solid box. We hit a few, cool lands. So we got this Grove of the Burrowwood, Stomping Grounds, a couple of the planets, like Citadel. We hit a special guest card, 2 breeding pools, and 2 planets, like I said. And then we hit some decent stuff in this pile. All of these are fairly playable. I think this is all around a very good, solid, not over the top, not crazy Magic the Gathering set. It's just exactly what the game needs after as we're getting ready to cycle into a rotation for Standard. So 10 out of 10 looks fun. Oh, I'm being. We're getting some alt arts slid our way. We got Starwinder. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards for Warp 4. 7/7. Give that thing haste. And then this is the alt art for Sur's Void Altar, which is the other, or the mono black planets. Pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to that sacrifice creature's power. Okay, so it's kind of like Phyrexian Tower-ish, in a way. We just got a lot. We got stacks coming our way. Oh, okay. Okay, we got a lot of things coming. Next is a Fade. It's going to be another special guest, and then Warping Whale too. Some pretty cool cards. Look at those. Like I said, I like these comic book version styles. I like them a lot. Then we have Star Yard, Regenerate Insect, Rat, or Spider, or Squirrel. Mystifying Maze, exile target attacking creature and opponent controls at the beginning of the next end step, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. There's a lot of effects. Lumbering Falls, it's a 4 total with Simic in there until end of turn. This land becomes a 3/3 with Hexproof. Rakdos, until end of turn, this becomes a 2/2 with X, so this creature gets X plus O until end of turn. Very Rakdos of you. Crystal Quarry, so you get to make Wooburg by paying 5 into it. And then Cascading Cataracts, I think that is, but I couldn't tell you for sure because there's a spaceship over the text. So good on them. And then 5 mana, add 5 mana in any color combination. We're making a lot of Wooburg fixing in this set. I'm going to put that to the back. Creeping Tar Pit is going to be the Dimir version, 3/2 blue-black elemental. Can't be blocked. We got another Burn Willows. Meteor Crater, choose a color of a permanent you control, add 1 mana of that color. Thespian Stage, look at that. Very stage of them. Shambling Vents, this is the Orzhov. Until end of turn, this land becomes a 2/3 black elemental with life. Again, look, it has that Shamir. Crazy. And then final card is going to be Ancient Tomb. One of the bigger chases inside of the set, and that just looks really cool. I like the person, I think, is that an Eldrazi? I think that's an Eldrazi. Just chilling inside that planet, slowly either being consumed, sealed away, something, I don't know, but that looks like a great card. So there's your Ancient Tomb for the set as well. A lot of cool cards, a lot of fun cards. And if you liked anything that you just saw, you can head down the description, go over to Superscripts Comics and Games website, and you can pick up anything you see there until Friday, or they won't ship until Friday, so keep that in mind. Or full release, whenever that might be. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and until the next one, I'll see you then.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the stream. If you want to pick up any of the cards you just saw Aaron open, you can stop by Superscript Comics and Games, located in Lakewood, Ohio, or check us out online at superscriptohio.com. Take care.